your previous winner here at Bristol. Is everything lining up like you would hope it would be?
Thanks, Kerry. Today was a very eventful Friday for us with, I got, a little loose getting into 3, and it took me all the way till turn 4 to scrub the fence. And we pancaked the right side just enough to where we had to quit practice for the last half hour and go to work on fixing the car. The hood seams were sealed and the deck lid seams were sealed, but the whole right side was pancaked, and you're right on that edge of do you fix it or you pull out the backup. And it was so cool to just feel the energy from my guys on. They all rolled their sleeves up. They all looked at the clock and said, we got an hour and a half to fix this to get it in the tech line, and we got it in. Then we had trouble getting it through the tech line because the lasers inspect the car with a little bit more detail than what our tape measures show, and so we had to go through the tech line 2-3 times and got out to the grid right before it was our turn, and went and turned a lap. And the cool part was I said I got to go 95%. I can't go a full 100% on that first lap, just to feel the car and to trust the car, to trust the track. And then the second lap, once I made it through the first lap, I said, all right, let's go 100%. And then I'm back to all over the place again. So a very eventful day, but thanks to my guys for working as hard as they did to give us this outside pole. We've been on the outside pole, half a dozen times. It's a good accomplishment, but at the same time, we're coming up a little short for getting the pole. But just these guys keep plugging away. It's been great to go into an old school thrash like we did today and to come out with an outside pole.
Carl Edwards drives the number 99 Fastenal Ford, as I said, and Carl, certainly you've always been a contender and a good racer here at Bristol. And as we get down to 3 to go in the chase, I know you like to tag on another victory. Yeah. You've had a solid season so far, but I know you would like to get this win here tomorrow night. What's it going to take to get to victory lane?
Well, the first step for us was to qualify well, and that was a really good lap for us with our Fastenal Ford. We were not that fast in practice. The guys did work very hard, made good adjustments, and that lap for me it felt like a very good lap. So I was disappointed to see these guys out-qualify us, but I'm still really excited about the race. We've got a good pit stall selection now. And then, with 3 races to go before the chase starts, we're just on, our mission right now is to win a couple of these races and at the same time try some things that we haven't been able to try so that we can be best prepared to go out for the final 10 races and win the championship.
Very good, and it seems like to me that the intensity level has turned up a notch here this weekend, so look forward to watching you guys race here tomorrow night. We'll take questions now for either Kurt or Carl. If you have one, raise your hand, and we'll get to you. Jenna has one here. Kristen? Jenna, and then Bob.
Jennifer, AP. Kurt, I didn't realize this was your 7th front row starting position. You're obviously in position for a chase berth. When you went to Furniture Row this year, did you have any idea that you could put together this kind of season?
It's been great on qualifying days. Friday has been, I think, our strongest suit. And what I mean by that, it can be defined in a few categories. And one is unloading with speed. And that's all the hard work at the shop that the guys do with the simulator and the 7-post. And so when your first lap out is fast, it's encouraging all weekend long. And then when we switched over into qualifying trim, that speed is there again. To say that I didn't expect it, wouldn't be the right phrase. It's been a great work in progress that I knew we could achieve. And to have as many outside poles as we do, it's a nice feather in the cap. But when you need to get through a Saturday practice session and still have that speed and then translate it into Sunday, we've just come up a little short on some of our speed on Sundays, and that's maybe why we haven't driven the Furniture Row Chevy into victory lane. But it's been very satisfying on Fridays and working through the sequence of the weekend to find that chance to go to victory lane. We just keep coming up a little short. Is not winning the only thing that's missing? Well, we're 3 weeks away from the chase, and that's what our focus is right now. And I said this, I think, about 6-7 weeks ago. We don't have to win to make this chase. Even if we had a win right now, we would be not guaranteed a spot in the chase. So consistency is what gets you in, and consistency wins the championship. You just have to ramp it up a notch once you're in the chase. So right now, the blinders are on. We're full focus on just making sure we get nice, consistent finishes.
Go ahead, Bob, to the left, and then to Mike.
Bob Hawker, Morning News, for Kurt. Do you address with your guys all the talk about where you may go next year to try to help them keep the blinders on? And do you have any comments on the reports of Stuart Haas wooing you for next year?
You know, the guys know that this is the time now, and they are all, shaking my hand saying thanks, and they're also saying, let's do this again next year. And I'm like, yeah, heck yeah, I'm right there with you. We have to stay focused on the present as well as balance the future, and it's a tough thing to do. And you hope you could do it behind the scenes, where it's not out in the public. But, today was a great reminder of how hard you have to work in this sport, and when things go wrong, you have to have talented guys jump in and pick you up. And today we brought home a outside pole with the adversity we had to overcome.
Go over here to Mike and then Kenny, far left.
Mike Hembry, USA Today. Kurt, you had your issue today. Kyle had problems. Jimmy in qualifying. Is the edge a little bit harder to find at this track this week for some reason?
Yeah, if Jimmy didn't have problems, I was just going to go, those dang Busch brothers, always out there on the edge, tearing cars up, checkers or wreckers, That's the whole mentality. But it's a joke, guys. Really, it's a joke. Sorry, my delivery was really poor there. The edge is tough. I actually asked Darby if I could go out there and walk the banking in 3 and 4 right before qualifying just to see where the marbles had collected. We're all right there on that high lane. And the higher you go, there's more grip. But as soon as you put a few inches of the tire into the marbles, then your right side's pancake. So it's really cool. Like Carl and I were saying, you're right on that edge, and it's a half mile around. Any little mistake shows up on the stopwatch immediately.
Kenny?
Kenny Bruce, NASCAR.com. Carl, at this point right now, do you have a race-winning car? And if not, what do you guys need to put you in that position?
I'm not sure if we have a race-winning car. I think it's close for this race here. I think we have struggled relative to some of our competition. I think a big bright spot for us, or something that we could look towards, was Joey last week with his Ford. That was pretty impressive. So, but we feel like we have to be a little bit faster. Like Kurt said, consistency wins the championship. It gets you in the chase, and it can win the championship. But you'd like to be really fast as well. You really need both. And I feel like we still have a little bit of speed to make up. And we've been working really, really hard on it. All the Fords, and we've been working pretty well together. We only have 3 more weeks, but if we can just become a little bit faster, we're not having engine trouble. We're not having pit stop trouble. We're not, we're qualifying okay. We just need to be a little bit faster, I believe. Yeah, well, this is it's a fun racetrack, and I hope I think tomorrow night, I'm hoping tomorrow night that top slows down a little bit, and you can have some good 2 or 3 wide racing here tomorrow. And really for us, with the position we're in points, we can kind of just go out there and have some fun, try to get a win. So this, for us right now, this is a great track to come to. It's going to be a lot of fun. We get to try a couple things, and but still, we're focusing on Chicago and Loudon and those races for the chase. Especially with what Jimmy Finnig has accomplished, in his career with drivers like Kurt, anything short of a championship would be a disappointment for us.
Let's go over here to Marty, and then we'll come back to Lee. Go ahead, Marty.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Kurt, everybody knows how hard you drive a car, but I'm curious, when you are a sought-after driver and there are multiple offers coming your way like this, what impact does that have on your confidence in the car?
It's like a checklist that you go through each time you get in the car, and one of those items is just to block out the outside world and know that what is at hand right now is a qualifying run. And then, tomorrow is 500 laps at Bristol, where I have to protect my car and make sure that we don't, try to push any issues on restarts, and that we, find the high groove and not run into guys when people are checking up in front of us. There's just a checklist of things you do, so that way in the car you're as focused as you can be. But to answer your question, it's nice when the phone's ringing and that people are asking what my future plans are, and people want me to be part of a program with them. And it's been a journey, to say the least, since things turned at the end of 2011. And so it's just nice to have the ability to find good rides and to be in one, and to build with these guys into the future is a possibility. And then to have the outside guys knocking on the door going, hey, we want you to drive. It's a good confidence booster, to say the least.
Over here to Lee, to the left.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Kurt, you're racing to get into the chase. Carl, you're racing for wins also, but I mean, you have a little more, I guess, safety net to fall back on. There's going to be like a contrast between the guys that, have to make the chase and the guys that are going out there to win. And everybody wants to win, obviously, but what do you expect the tenor to be tomorrow night?
I don't know. I think we talked about it a little bit in the hauler. There are guys in the position that I'm in, and we can be pretty aggressive and go out and take some chances and do some things. But you definitely, I don't want to negatively impact someone else's chase hopes. I mean, my teammate Greg Biffle is right there on the bubble, and I don't want to see him caught up in anything. So I think we, from my seat, I'm going to be as aggressive as I can be and still respect the situation that everyone's in.
It's just sitting here thinking, with Bristol, as cool as this place is, and the excitement level, could we move this race into the chase so that we didn't have the guys, that were on edge, that had to have a good, consistent run just to get their way into the chase? Why couldn't this be the second race in the chase? And then why can't we just put dirt on this place and run here in March on dirt? I think that'd be awesome if we put dirt on here, and then every ticket was $35. That'd be pretty sweet. That's my vote for next March.
What would you take out of the chase?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
I can get on my soapbox again and talk. I think there should be a lottery system, or there should be a wager that you have to place with NASCAR to buy a chase date, and that the championship race at the final race should have to bid just like you bid on a Super Bowl. It should move around a little bit. Yeah, we can't probably race in Chicago in November. It might be a little too cold, but there's a half a dozen tracks that I think could be a series finale, and I think they should have to bid on the tracks.